was born in Istanbul in 1928, and he has a very strong bond to the city that he was born in, and he still lives and works there. And he's very well known for his photographs of Istanbul and also his artist portraits. But over his long career of more than 60 years, he has done also a lot of photography of architectural and archaeological sites as well. And you see a sample of those photographs here in our exhibition. And he was also he identifies himself to be a photojournalist, and he was working very closely with very well-known international photojournalists of his time.
Here's the building here. In the 60s, it came every 2 months. It was a hardcover. We are very fortunate that we have in our collection in the archives a spectacular collection of photographs by Ara Guler that were given to a man named Raymond Hare, the outgoing American ambassador to Turkey in 1965. These have stayed in our archives since they were given to us in 1989. They've never been exhibited. So we are thrilled to be able to bring this fabulous collection to a public audience. The project came out of a collaboration with the Programs in Museums and Society at Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore through the funding that is generously provided by the Andrew W. Mellon Foundation. The Program in Museums and Society can offer their undergraduates the opportunity to do hands-on curating at local museums, and so that's what we did here. I taught a course last year at Hopkins called Photographs on the Edge, and the point of the class was to look at this kind of interesting question about whether photographs belong in the art collections of a museum or the archives, and what does it mean when they are in one place or another. So knowing that a photograph is considered to be art, do we look at it differently than when we consider it to be a research tool as it would be in the archives? Our photographs are in the archives, but as we learned, Guler's photographs are often exhibited as art, published as art in books, although he considers himself to be a photojournalist and very much resists the definition of artist. So the students grappled with this same contradiction in their exploration of the material. On the one hand, they knew that Guler considered himself to be a photojournalist. On the other hand, they could see that his photographs were functioning in the art world as art. So they put together a show which has this basic contradiction at its heart. They brought Guler into the show by choosing a series of quotations from his interviews and publications that talk about how he thinks about photography, and they combine those with a series of photographs and ask the viewer to think about how the viewer understands the photographs. What were the choices Guler made in how he composed the image, in vantage point, in lighting, and how do those choices affect our understanding of the photograph? So we're asking in this exhibition for viewers to go slowly through the exhibition, look carefully at all of the images, and think about the choices the photographer made in composing the images, and think about this divide or this different way of thinking about photography as journalism or as art.
During the class, we came up with the basic exhibition proposal, and I was able to stay on as an intern for the summer and work on developing that proposal a little more, writing the wall text and refining the image selection and conducting research, things like that.
I did a lot of research into the historical and architectural aspects of the photographs, and we prepared a brochure that's still being printed, so I don't have it, but to give people a greater context for what they're seeing.
I think that we tried to choose some of the quotes that exemplify concerns that he has been expressing in his work throughout his career. So over and over again in his writing, he talks about the issue of truth and of the importance of using photography as a way of conveying information, and also the issue of change. Documenting change, documenting a disappearing past is something that's been an overriding concern for Guler throughout his career. These images are of buildings as they were in the early 1960s, and they are invaluable documents of that time in those buildings' history. If we went back to these sites today, we would see things that look very differently.